So today I'm just going to be showing you guys how I do my foundation every day, and then show you what products and stuff that I like to use for myself. So I've been through tons of different foundations. It was kind of hard for me to find something that I liked. I have super dark under eyes, I have like acne scarring, and I have uneven skin tone. So for me, I needed something that had, you know, pretty full coverage, but also I have sensitive skin, so I was prone to breakouts. I've tried tons of different foundations that they always seem to leave me with breakouts afterwards, which obviously is super irritating. And then you just have to use more foundation just to try to cover that up afterwards. What I have found now, this is my favorite foundation that I've used. It's really awesome. It's by It Cosmetics. This here it's a CC cream, but it is full coverage. So it has SPF 50 in it, which is a really big deal. You know, probably most girls don't know that you should be wearing sunblock on your face. It's going to, you know, minimize aging in your skin. The sun is actually really bad for your skin, even though I love being tan and everything, but still, you should be protecting your skin. That's why I love this stuff. It has SPF 50. It also, let's see, it's anti-aging, so it has like an anti-aging hydrating serum in it as well. I bought this at Ulta. You can buy it there. I think it's around $30 to $40 in that range. So to apply this, I like to use like a flat foundation brush. This one I got from Morphe Cosmetics. I love this brush. The only thing is, not if I could, I will be getting a smaller one. I love putting my foundation on with this, but it would be nicer to have a smaller brush just so that it's a little bit easier for me to apply. So first, how I start off doing this, I just pump two, so it has a pump on it. I just do 2 pumps on my wrist here, and then just take my foundation brush and then I just dab it in there. I don't dab the whole thing, I just dab like the sides. You can kind of see where it is. So I'll start with this side. So for me, I just start kind of patting it on my face, and then I'll rub it in. See, having a smaller one would be a lot easier because I'd have a little bit more control. This one kind of fans out far. And then I just squeeze the sides like this just to make it pinch together so I can get the side of my face. It's not going to look perfect right now. I'm going to blend it in a little bit better. I'll move my hair out of the way. So as you can see, coverage-wise, it's really good for being a CC cream, so that's a plus. And then I have different stuff that I use for my under eyes. And then I always take it down my neck too. That's important. You don't want to have a line. So I'll always just pull it down your neck a little bit. So as you can see, the coverage is good. It might look really weird how I'm using this brush right now, but it works. You just pinch it. Kind of turns it into a fan brush. Okay, so there's that. So next, what I use is also by It Cosmetics. It's called Bye Bye Pores. This one's a loose powder. I do know that they just came out with a compact of this, which I think I'm going to get, just because I find with loose powders it's so hard to try to keep all the product on your brush. You do end up losing a lot of product, you know, just in the air. So what I use to apply this, it comes with like one of these little sponge things in it. I don't use that. This is just a plain, just powder brush. Mine's by Eco Tools. I like this one just because it's retractable, so I can travel with this in my purse, and then it doesn't get dirty or anything. So that's why I like this one. So I just put a little bit in the lid. Just pat it right on there. See how already you can see kind of the dust of it. It's a super fine powder, which is awesome, but you do lose a little bit of the product because it's so fine. So then I just put it on the brush like this, and then I just pat it on all over my face. And for me, I have oily skin, so this seems to actually keep it matte all day. If you have oily skin, I highly suggest don't use like powder foundations. The more you try to cover up the oil in your skin, the more your skin is going to try to compensate for that, and you're just going to have to keep on applying more foundation or more powder to try to conceal your oiliness. I used to do that to myself, and I've learned now it's actually better to use something that actually has some natural oils in it. And then I just seal it with this powder. It doesn't seem to make me oily or greasy. I don't break out or anything from this either. I actually really love this stuff. So then I do that. For my under eyes, the label has actually worn off because I've had it for such a long time, but it's also by It Cosmetics. This is called Bye Bye Under Eye. This has collagen and vitamin K in it, so it's really good for your under eyes. It helps with fine lines, you know, it helps them to smooth them out, and they do actually kind of disappear over time. I swear by this stuff. This stuff is amazing. So I just put a little bit. It doesn't take much either. This stuff's pretty thick. Come on. So I just put about that much on my hand. You can use a brush to apply this. Sometimes I do. I'll show you what brush I usually use. I'll usually go in with a brush similar to this if I don't want to use my fingers, but lately I've just been using my finger. Kind of easier. So I just use my middle finger, and you just dab a little bit on it just like this, and then I just apply it right under my eyes. This stuff's really awesome because I have like bluish, purplish under eyes. And before this stuff, I had the hardest time covering my under eyes. I always felt like no matter what I used, it would still show through. And personally, I don't like to wear a bunch of different products, and I really don't like having to layer and layer and layer. I like something that's quick and simple and still looks good. And I just kind of blend it out, and you can already see the difference. Like here, you can see it's blue, purple, and then on this side it does help cover it a lot. On this eye, I have this creepy vein, and this stuff really seems to actually cover that up too. That's one of the biggest issues that I had, is covering this vein. I felt like it would always show through any sort of foundation that I would use. But this stuff really seems to actually cover it the best that I've seen so far. And this stuff's also supposed to be non-creasing. So then you don't have to go back in later and touch it up. I never have to touch up this stuff. And I just put a little bit on my eyelids too, just because I have darker eyelids as well. Now, obviously, if you're a makeup artist and you're applying this to a client, don't use your finger. I just use a brush. So I just pat kind of around it. I don't like to seal the whole thing. I actually like the look of it to be kind of a reflective surface on my under eyes. I like it when it looks like that, personally. Okay, so I don't contour much. I just use a powder. I actually, you know, sometimes I'll use the creams, but it's kind of rare. For me, the best way to apply my contour is this Morphe palette. Here, I'll show it to you. So this is actually really awesome. It's not very expensive, and there's tons of it here, so you get big portions, which is really cool too. So the first one that I use is this one right here. It's just the lighter brown shade that's in the palette, and I just use a fan brush. This one I think is honestly from Target, or no, you know what? This one's e.l.f. So this one's the e.l.f. Cosmetics fan brush. I like this one. It's a little bit thin. I kind of want to get a thicker fan brush, but this one still does the job. So I just kind of pat it in here, tap the excess off. And then for me, how I gauge where I'm going to put my contour, I kind of start from like right here where my ear is. So I just take it right like this. You can see I don't do a lot. And then I just fan it up. My hair's out of the way. And then I just kind of put it right near my temple, maybe get a little bit more. I love this palette because this contour is not super, super dark. I don't like very dark contours. I like it, you know, pretty light. And then I'll take that too and just go right up here on my forehead. And then for me personally, I don't like to contour my nose that much, just a little bit. I just use the same shade, but I just take my fan brush and notice the fan brush kind of curves to the shape of my nose. So I just take my fan brush and I kind of follow right from where my eyebrow would be, and I just lightly dust right on the sides. Personally, for me, I feel like when I try to contour my nose, it just looks weird. So this is kind of my way of doing it. Okay. And then for highlight, I'm going to use, I'm actually going to use this really light powder here. I like this one for my highlight. And then I'm actually going to put, I'm not going to wear blush today, I'm going to wear a bronzer. So for me, I like to use, I just put it in the middle of my nose. This is from e.l.f. as well. It's the angled foundation brush. I just put a little bit here and then I just go down my nose with it here. And then I'm going to take just a large, well, medium fluffy brush. This one's from Eco Tools. I'm going to use that same color that I had showed you. And I'm just going to put some here on my chin. Sorry. It's driving me crazy. And then then I'm going to use it right under here. And then in the middle of my forehead. And then put just a little bit right underneath where you contoured. And then what I like to do, just to help blend it out just a little bit, in case I got anything kind of too thick, I just take that same brush that I used earlier and I just kind of pat it around. Okay, so then instead of using a blush today, I don't really feel like wearing blush, so I'm just going to use a bronzer. Sometimes I'll wear bronzer, sometimes I'll wear blush. I'm going to use, where is it? I'm just going to use the same brush that I used to put on my highlight. This one is Physicians Formula Bronze Booster. It's just light to medium shade, it says. It's actually really pretty. You can get it at Target. So then personally, I don't like to always have pink cheeks. That's just me. So I just take this bronzer and I just use it where I would use the blush, and also kind of where my contour is. I'll just put it there. Okay, so then that's pretty much it. So I'm pretty sure my video cut off at the end. If you have questions or anything, just go ahead and comment below. I will be putting the links to the products that I use in the description. That way you guys can check it out and you can purchase if you like. All right, see you on the next one.